Pope Francis's condition is stable, but he is remaining at Rome's Gemelli Hospital for now. Today is Tuesday, February 18th. From Ave Maria Radio, this is Michigan Mornings. Good morning from Ishpeming. I'm Matthew Handley. Let's begin with this news. Fire crews yesterday worked to put out an electrical fire at a Consumers Energy plant in Bay County. The fire broke out yesterday afternoon, and a Consumers spokesperson said the fire started outside the facility but had spread. Only one minor injury to a firefighter has been reported, and there is no risk of a loss of power. The Great Lakes Water Authority says a water main break has been isolated in southwest Detroit after residents were evacuated on rafts due to flooding on Monday morning. A 54-inch water main broke near Beard and Rowan Streets. Officials say both basements and streets were flooded, with some families opting to stay in place for now. DTE Energy warns residents not to touch electrical equipment if it is wet or if you are standing in water. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is in negotiations that could settle over 100 lawsuits from people who say they were wrongfully fired for not getting a COVID-19 vaccine. Attorneys for both sides requested U.S. District Judge David Lawson put aside the lawsuits while they work with a mediator. A judge in November ruled in favor of Lisa Domsky, who is among the employees fired, and awarded her nearly $13 million. The Michigan Department of Education is not changing its stance on diversity, equity, and inclusion in schools. State Superintendent Michael Rice said, quote, "They continue to support diversity in literature, comprehensive history instruction, and broad recruitment to grow your own programs for students and support staff to become teachers," end quote. The comment comes after Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency released a memo last week showing that the U.S. Department of Education is requiring schools to comply with the Trump administration's interpretation of federal civil rights law or lose funding. Rice says MDE will be reviewing the letter from the federal government. And as the Trump administration continues to cut budgets and lay off federal employees, Representative Debbie Dingle, a Democrat from Ann Arbor, visited two Veterans Affairs medical centers and said the VA staff she spoke to are concerned about losing their jobs and for their patients' health. Last week, the Veterans Affairs announced it had dismissed 1,000 probationary employees. Dingle said, quote, We should be helping the VA recruit and retain a qualified workforce, not dismantling it, discouraging it, or causing low morale," end quote. VA Secretary Doug Collins said the layoffs will not negatively impact VA healthcare, benefits, or beneficiaries in a statement on the matter. This is your local news and weather on Ave Maria Radio's Michigan Mornings. Now this.
Ever thought you'd make a bundle by trading in or selling your used vehicle only to find out it's worth a dinner for two? Well, it's much more valuable to donate your vehicle to Ave Maria Radio. Thousands of Americans donate their vehicle each year. The donation to Ave Maria is easy, tax-deductible, and supports our efforts to evangelize. A year from now, will you remember that dinner or your gracious and selfless donation? Go to AveMariaRadio.net to find out more. That's AveMariaRadio.net.
It's going to be a cold day in the Motor City. We'll have mostly sunny skies with a high near 17, but the wind chill values will drop to minus 13 at times. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a low around 5. Tomorrow, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high near 21. The wind chill values could be as low as minus 5. Thursday will be mostly cloudy with a high near 24. Friday warms up slightly more with partly sunny skies and temperatures around 28. We have a cold weather advisory in effect in the Saginaw Valley until 9 a.m. this morning. It'll still be cold for the rest of the day, though. We'll have mostly sunny skies with a high near 16, but wind chill values will be as low as minus 14. Tonight will be partly cloudy with lows around 0. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies with a high near 20, wind chill values as low as minus 8. Thursday will be mostly cloudy with a high near 22, and Friday will be partly sunny and warmer with a high near 27. Taking a look at area sports, the Tigers have held their first full workout of the spring. The Tigers will begin starting spring play on Saturday when they host the Philadelphia Phillies. Opening day is March 27th. In college basketball, Michigan extended its winning streak to 6 straight with an 86-83 victory over Ohio State in Columbus. U of M will host rival Michigan State on Friday. In other college basketball action, Detroit Mercy beat Oakland in overtime over the weekend, 93-83. The Titans improved to 8-19 on the season. They return home to host IU Indianapolis on Wednesday. Today, Central Michigan visits Ohio, Eastern Michigan hosts Miami, Ohio, and Western Michigan is visiting Buffalo. The Chippewas sit at 11-14 on the seasons. The Spartans are at 12-13, and the Broncos are at 8-17. Let's take a look at what's going on around the world. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in Saudi Arabia on Monday for peace talks aimed at ending the nearly 3-year-long war in Ukraine. President Donald Trump says he plans to meet with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, quote, soon. Here's News Nation's Kelly Meyer.
President Trump keeping the conversation going with both leaders, Putin and Zelensky. But it is only the U.S. is only meeting with Russia and Secretary of State Marco Rubio this week. And Ukraine's president says he won't agree to anything that is negotiated without Ukraine involved. Secretary of State Marco Rubio landing in Saudi Arabia this morning for those high-stakes talks on ending the war in Ukraine as President Trump teases a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, quote, very soon. The State Department confirming just moments ago that Rubio, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff will meet with Russian officials tomorrow. And Witkoff spoke with Russian President Putin himself for hours, we're told. President Trump was asked about the timing for his own meeting with Putin in Saudi Arabia as he teased that, quote, very soon. And UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer says he's ready and willing to put troops on the ground in Ukraine to enforce a peace deal. That as French President Emmanuel Macron holds an emergency meeting in Ukraine with European leaders in Paris today.
Meanwhile, in Rome, the Holy Father remains in Gemelli Hospital with bronchitis. In an update last night from the Holy See press office, Pope Francis does not have a fever. He is proceeding with prescribed treatment, and his condition is stable. He's thanking everyone for his prayers and says that he is praying for everyone else. That does it for this edition of Michigan Mornings on a Tuesday. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.